Oh boy, finally got this thing pumping. Oh god, I don't know how to get this thing off. That I am live now. I am live, everyone. Hey, I'm finally here, y'all. I'm just having some problems when I'm setting the reminder on this thing. It's giving me a hard time, so I don't know. It's just been doing too much. Let me see something here. Okay, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good evening, good evening. I wasn't going to even come on this thing today. I was not going to come on here today. But I was just looking at some things and it was just like, really? Infamous Sylvia is live right now. So I guess a lot of people are still over on that side of town. Hi, Renee. How you doing? Happy Thursday. I know that's right, Adrian. Thank God. Yes, somebody please. I'm doing good, a child. Oh wow, y'all coming in? Come on in. Yes, this is going to be a hot topic, y'all, because I'm getting sick of them savages. I am really done with them because we all know from the time this whole thing started with Joycelyn being, supposedly held hostage against her will with Robert Sylvester Kelly. This girl has came out numerous and numerous of times saying that she's okay and that she wish her family would just stop stalking her and stop harassing her in the public like that. And she said, especially my dad, you know where I'm coming from. And she did also get on the Gail King show along with Azrael and also made her statement there that her father and her, well, both her parents, I'm gonna put both of them because I see both of them there. I see Joyndelyn, whatever Savage, and the dad and her dad all there. Let me put my glasses back on because Casey can't see. I can't see in the chat. But she said this numerous of times. My dad knows what's going on. And my dad needs to stop. Okay. And she also said publicly, she came out after that fake Patreon account message went out. She came out in public reading whatever she had, saying how she is not going to come against Robert Sylvester Kelly, how she won't do that. Okay. And please, everybody try to understand how she cares about him in her way. She made that very clear. And she made this a public statement now. So why are y'all still harassing her? Why are y'all still publicly coming to be in front of the media, coming, taking that money and flying to come be at his trial with Gloria Allred, who is nothing but a media rat her damn self? Because, like I said yesterday, she was holding up a photo when all of this was going on of a picture of LL Cool J when she was supposed to have been representing those other two girls that were from the what's this called trial again? The other girls from Minnesota. So come on, everybody could see that this stuff right here is so like everybody is playing a game. They playing a role. They all trying to gang up to take Robert Sylvester Kelly down. They trying to find witnesses, bribe people, give people money, put people in front of the camera like this man is really going around being a predator on minors. And I really wish people, when they speaking on these social media, like Essence today, I guess I went the fuck there. Okay, excuse my language. But Essence made a post about his trial, and people got on there. Some people were wishing that, people wasn't saying things in favor of Robert Sylvester Kelly. And of course, you expect that. And of course, they work for the government too. with their media outlets and their media tabloids or whatever. You know, me right now, I'm canceling Essence. Okay, that used to be a magazine that I really highly respect at one time, because at one time when I was a young girl, well, I would say a young woman. I wasn't a girl, I was a woman. And I was, really in search for trying to find myself somewhere in the job market. And I was a temp, and I worked with Essence Magazine. I did some work in the media. I worked in a media department and everything. So at that time, who was the hot dog? Oh God, I can't even remember his name. I'll look it up. I'll find him. I'll find him. But he was the hot dog right back then and there. And that's when Susan Taylor was an editor there or whatever. And I really highly respect Essence Magazine. And when I see like something like this going on with a high profile celebrity saying that he has sexually is being accused of these type of high being under these racketeering act, whatever, and being a child pedophile, and then them putting stuff like out there, I would say, wouldn't they would word it a little different and say he's on trial right now because of some allegations, of sex allegations with minors, instead of predatory and all that. How they word things to me sometimes is like kind of offensive, you know what I'm saying? And it's really being biased to me. It's not really being fair to me. So I can't support any more of these tabloids. If I see you out there lining out Robert Sylvester Kelly, because none of this stuff has been proven to be true in the court of law. Even before it got to this point, they already judged the man by public opinion when Lifetime aired that docuseries on the television network before this was even in court and trial, and everything this man supposedly had done was found guilty in the court of law. So I made sure that I left in the comments there that y'all know y'all work for the government. Y'all know y'all want to prejudice his case. Y'all already judged him guilty by public opinion, but y'all not going to get to persuade me to believe all of this stuff. This young lady, because the discussion was on Geronda, this young lady was stalking this man at the age of whatever she said she was. She's gonna change the name like 14 times already. She was 14, she was 15, then she turned 16, then she lied, then she told Barbara she lied about her age, and then she was, then he said, well, you better say you 19 and you better say 21 and act like you 21. Meaning, on Robert's part, finding out that he was with a minor, he probably was like, damn, this shit again. You just better say you 19 and you was acting like you and act like you 21. A man done slept with you. If allegedly, I'm not saying he did, but allegedly, if this is what he had said, when he was thinking you were legal, and then you turn around and tell him your real age, I would have probably said the same thing. You better tell people you 19 and you was 21, because I just got off a trial with being with a minor and shit going around that I was with this one when she was a minor, and this, and y'all lying about your age and this, that, and the other. You showing me ID and it's not real ID, it's fake ID. Come on. People, come on and think. Use your common sense. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to make it seem like he knew she was a minor and she was underage. He made it very clear in all his concerts, and even when his concerts were being promoted and everything else like that, there was parental advisory. There was things to tell you that you had to be a certain age in those oh Lord, when you read and you read on the tickets that you buy, and you read before you buy you go to the concerts, and it tells people you have to be legally legal. This stuff been going on for years. Even I could remember when Rick James was on trial for sleeping with a 17-year-old, a girl that was underage or whatever, a woman that was underage, how he went on trial for all of that stuff and they hung him. This to me is a bunch of crap. If these young people know how to figure out a way to lie about their age, they should be taking some responsibility for some accountability for what they do. Because this is why we have a problem right now in society. Y'all want to judge them as children, but they thinking like freaking con artists and adults, and they lying and they being manipulative. Okay, so where's the accountability there? They know they was a minor. They knew this man was a lot older than them. Joyndelyn knew this stuff. Come on, she was stalking him at a trial. She seen he was on trial for being with a minor in a porn tape. Why are you at a trial with a man knowing he's at a trial for being in a porn tape with a minor? And you still gonna go and have a relationship with him? Allegedly, a relationship with him? And the things that were described, the graphic things that was described from that infamous tape he was in, you still, and you saw the infamous tape, because if you were there at the trial, of course you saw it. So why did you put yourself in harm's way like that? This is what you had enough sense to lie about your age, find fake ID, skip school, and do all these things, but now you want to use this to your advantage, that you was a minor and you knew this man already was in trouble before with the law for being with a minor, but you still went and then now you're going to go and be with him, right? So I really hope they don't use that against him. Let her take some accountability for what she did. Lying, perjury, whatever you want to say is, she was soliciting prostitution and all of that stuff, okay? This is how I look at it. I don't care what them tabloids are out there putting out there about this man and people calling him a predator when they were preying on him and using him and taking advantage of him. I don't care what those tabloids say. And ain't nobody going to change my mind about any of this. Even if he was to be found guilty, I'm still not going to believe it. I hope he appeal it and fight it again and again and again. Because these adult teenagers, I call them adult teenagers because they know how to do all of that craziness. Then they making decisions for their life for themselves, and they know what the heck they are doing. They are in the right conscious mind to make these decisions that they have been making, to be with a man twice their age and go and try to take advantage of him and use him for whatever opportunity there was for them. You know what I'm saying? Be an opportunist. That's why I say they need to just throw this whole damn trial out, because they already prejudiced the case due to the fact that they know that this man had a case before when he was in mess with that underage minor. Supposedly they didn't determine the age of the young woman, so that's supposed to have been acquitted. But since they wasn't successful at doing it that way, they build up more cases on him. And then they look back in his other cases that was settled, and now they want to use that against them. You can't do that. Y'all settled those cases already. All those cases were already settled. So why y'all trying to railroad him? Why y'all trying to double jeopardy this man? And then bring in this doggone, and I hope Canick, and I did tag them in my video, I hope Canick, Devereaux Canick, and Nicole, and all the other legal defense people working on the Robert Sylvester Kelly side get a chance to look at this video. Look at those things. Come at them with those things, okay? All these allegations they bring in, they opening up old cases that he had from before, and they using these same girls from all these other lawsuits from back in 1990, from the Tiffany Hawkins to the all this stuff with it. Well, I don't even want to bring up Aaliyah, because of the simple fact she's really not here to defend herself, but Aaliyah did leave in her living testimony that this marriage never happened. So we got to take whatever Aaliyah said at that time while she was living and go with that. And I'm not going to let the law and everything try to make it fit for them and say that Robert and her were married. And now they bringing up this thing about her pregnancy, which it was rumors out there, but who knows if she was pregnant from Robert? That's what they need to understand. And Nicole, I hope y'all paying attention if they do an autopsy, and if they want to, what they call it, resume her body to do an autopsy on Aaliyah, how they going to find out if that was a pregnancy of Robert's? She could have been out there messing with another little boy or something, or another somebody out there in the thing, and Robert was probably trying to cover it up for her. Who knows? So how they gonna prove that shit on a dead person? And her parents can't say nothing, because if it did happen, why wasn't her parents having him in court then suing him for taking a minor daughter across the state lines and getting married to her? How they gonna prove that? Nothing they have is evidence. They got somebody on trial as a supposedly alleged a victim, but the person ain't here to speak for themselves. So how does that make sense? And if it did happen, why wasn't her parents in court with Robert back then? Why was it on a hush-hush if it did happen? And Robert wasn't really at the height of his career as he is today, as he was back then. So why wasn't then it been taken care of in a lawsuit? Tell me that. It don't make any sense. This is the government, just like Farrinelli said. I forgot, I don't know his first name, but I'm going to edit this video, but I'm going to make sure I tag him up on in there too, so his legal aid or his paralegals or whoever can get this information and everything, and they can, put it together. Because it's so much that these people are doing, the government, and they know they doing it, and they breaking the law. They broke the law before this case trial even started. Going back to lifetime of what they did. And Sony and everything. And these Me Too times up. And the funny thing is that when I went on Essence and everybody that came at me with their comments, I made sure I went to their Facebook page to check out who they were, and they were all lesbians. These were all lesbian women attacking this man on calling him predator and all this other stuff. They were all lesbians. So where that's coming from? It's probably coming from those terrorists, Me Too, Times Up, and Mute R. Kelly groups. Because those are only 3 groups that I know that was going real hard to see that this man be put in jail and under the jail and be put in jail for life for minors. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't take anybody hostage. He didn't do none of these things that they coming at him with this charge, with this RICO shit. And these are all women groups, government women groups, okay, that have an agenda against men, period. But they are being the ones, ain't nobody, these women got some messed up shit going on with them anyway. They got some messed up stuff in their head. They don't like men. But y'all gonna believe that this man should go to jail for the rest of his life, and he should be hanging and be put in jail and all this stuff. And probably some of the men in there too. They got some things because of them priests raped their ass when they was in the Catholic. Oh, 1 second, please. Telemarketers calling me at this time of night. I don't play that shit. They annoying. But anyway, y'all. I'm just saying that if you look at some of these people that will attack your comments in some of these tabloids, when they post articles, news articles or whatever like that, notice that they all come from those 3 groups. The government. They're owned by the government, and that's why I did get a lot of people that agreed and liked my comments and everything, and I ran it down to them, and the devil ran right away because I told them, one of them told me I'm an effed up fan. I said, no, baby, I see the truth. And the thing is that you don't see the truth because you don't know Jesus. Right then and there, they ran. Okay? Never came back to attack my post again, because once I lift up the name of Jesus, okay, that I don't want to see an innocent man's life hang on the line the way they've been hanging it on the line, and the lies and the gossip and the rumors and the attacks that they've been coming at him with. Because I don't go along with what they're saying, I'm a effed up so-and-so. Oh, I'm a this, or I'm a P high, whatever. And that's why I said, we coming for your ass lifetime. Because this is not right what y'all did to Robert Sylvester Kelly, and it's not fair to people that support his innocence to be attacked and called out of their names for believing in innocence before proven guilty. And we have that right to believe that way, and we should not be bullied. They don't want to be bullied, so it goes both ways. We don't want to be bullied either. And we have every right to express why we feel this man is innocent before proven to be guilty of what y'all did and putting out lifetime docuseries, lying to these women. Because these women that was supposedly been on this docuseries didn't even know what it was all about. They was just talking about their relationship with a superstar. But y'all twisted it to make it seem that Robert Sylvester Kelly was holding them against their will, manipulated him. He was a monster. Y'all made this man, y'all dehumanized this man. And y'all used those women. And just like I said, if they were smart, they would ride with Robert Sylvester Kelly. And when they get on that witness stand, they better speak the truth. Because God forbid, of what they plotting to try to do to him, you won't see no happiness, no peace for the rest of your days on this earth for running with lies. You won't have no peace. And if it don't affect you, it's going to come for somebody, maybe your relatives, maybe your kids. Because there's just certain things that God will see and will justify. If he don't justify Robert in his life as a living soul, he will justify Robert in his death. And your life here on earth will be a living hell. Just like he brought the sword, will never leave your house, David, for what you did. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you liars. The sword will never leave your house. It will go on for generation to generation. You're going to wonder why your life is having so much bad luck. Why you're going to see sickness in your days and suffer on your sick bed before you die. You're going to be wishing you were dead when God get through with you, of tearing you. You get God's wrath on your butt for sitting up there lying. By Geronda Pace getting up there lying on the witness stand. Telling the truth with a lie, though. Because she said she lied about her age. That's the truth. And they can't use it against Robert because she lied about her age. And she bringing the truth. She says, I lied about my age. I told him I was 18, going on 19, after I slept with him. This is what she said. That's her testimony. She lied. So y'all gonna use it against Robert? How y'all gonna do that? How y'all gonna do that without God seeing who you are? One of y'all just might have a stroke, get sick, and die right there in that courthouse. You better get right with your heart of what y'all trying to do to this man's life. God could shut you down at any time, any moment, any day. You might not even be able to walk in that courthouse tomorrow. If you planning evil in your heart, and that goes for the jurors too. See the truth. Because now it's in their hand, especially that so-called Christian. And those are the kind of people that really you got to be careful with. They picked some so-called Christian woman. If she put Robert as guilty on there and she's a Christian. And the thing about it is that these people don't think that their life is not going to be exposed. They think that men got control over hiding who they are. They think that man is really going to protect them. Man ain't got no protection over his own life. God sees everything and he knows all about you. He knows what's in your heart. He knows your ways. He knows everything about you. It's funny that I was watching Prima Donna today. Shout out to Prima Donna. She did a video today on this person by the name of Polite, Tasha K, called this dude out. You know, because this man he was up there at one point. He don't believe in God. He don't believe he believed God is the devil too. And he was saying some wicked stuff, right? And he also was out there doing some, you know, just like I was just talking about the other day, like these militant, crazy men that go in the community talking about they protecting the black woman and they out here to protect women and this, that, the other, and the woman is God and all this other stuff. But then they the main ones go out there raping. Now his butt is in some stuff where he took a 14 years old girl in a hotel and raped her. Now his stuff is exposed. I don't know if he was one of those out there saying some stuff about Robert Sylvester Kelly. I don't know. I just came across the video today and I just asked, is he one of those that says something about Robert Sylvester Kelly? But now he's in some stuff. Let me see if I can go to the video, y'all. I'm going to show you. Prima Donna, I'm going to share her little content here. I'm going to share it with y'all. I don't know if he said anything about Robert, but he in some mess now with being with an underage, a minor. Okay. His name is something Polite. And that's and you know, this is what I say. You got to be careful what you speak on somebody's life. And now he's been messed up and he got it's a mess. And some of these biblical Bible thumping
have derived from. Considering, if we all recall, Dr. York was charged.
I remember that Dr. York thing. That's another cult, religious cult thing. See, with me, with Robert, defending him in this trial, let people know, some of these people that might view this channel and might come be my audience, whatever. I don't support any abuse towards women. I don't support that. I don't support sexual abuse, emotional, or any kind of abuse. But when people know and they see things and they familiar with things and they stay in these kind of relationships, then I be like, hey, that's the choices they made. They made their own the conscious decisions about the choices they wanted to do with their life. Okay. And the mess they wanted to get themselves in. That's why I don't feel sorry for these women when I see them on Snap. I don't feel sorry for these females that I see on programs like For My Man, and they go into jail and stuff like that, because at some point you have to recognize danger and you got to know when you're in a bad situation and you got to get yourself out. You don't stay there and get punched in the face, keep getting punched in the face, kicked in the face, or knocked down on the floor and everything. If somebody is ready to just like, if somebody is physically abusing you or doing emotions, first of all, the first abuse that's going to come is the mental, the abuse to where they're going to abuse you, the emotional and the mental and all that disrespect. That's where they start beating. Once they start getting there and you know that they talking to you and foul and mistreating you foul and not respecting you or whatever, get out. Yeah, and fatal attraction. I do not support women. Sometimes when you hear about their stories, oh, she was a nice girl and this, that, and the other. And, you know, go and look at some of these things. And I'd be like, nice girl. But she was running out there with the wrong kind of people. And she wanted to be with the wrong kind of people. And she chose to be with the wrong kind of people. But she was a nice girl. And then she gets caught up. And then she get caught with some charges and she going to jail or whatever. You know, so I want people to know that I don't support no woman in abuse and this, that, and the other. Now, when you want to talk about children that can't really make decisions, I'm talking about an infant from 0 to at least, I would say, I would consider 12. I would consider 12. But 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, depending on their home life, because I seen some fast. One day I could get into my life about some people I hung out with when I was when I was an adolescent, when I was a teen. Oh yeah, I hung out with some pretty bad girls. And one of them, she was 13, lying that she was 14 when she was only 13 years old. And she had the breast, the ass, the hips, the whole goddamn nine, okay? I don't want to call her name out here because she might be still around and she might be, because I ain't seen many, 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 many years. But you talking about she had a mouth on her that she used to know how to really talk, really street walk. I mean, she was sharp, okay, with the tongue, very intelligent, grown as ever, screwing men 25 and whatever years old. And I was there. I was there. There was nothing innocent about her. Nothing. And I wish I had people that hung around me and knew me back then with her to witness right here with me. That's why I can't go with these girls being minors and he still got with them. Let me tell you, if you saw this girl, she didn't look like a child. She had a body on her, boobs, ass, hips, and a mouth. She would out talk a grown ass woman. So when y'all sit up here, y'all want to know the characteristics of the person. Don't go by that age shit. Don't go by that. Because she was out there. And you couldn't tell her nothing. She had the ass, the boobs, everything. Body shaped like a pop bottle. You hear me? And had a mouth on her. And she could out talk any grown ass woman. They kicked her out of school because she told them she don't need their mother effing education. She went up in the guidance counselor's office and gave them a word or two. But I stayed. Because I was rolling with her, cutting class and that whole damn nine. That's right. I could look back at the things I did in my youth. That's why I cannot sit here and judge Robert Sylvester Kelly or any goddamn man for some of the shit I saw and I witnessed in my youth. And some of the things I did from even in my youth. And I could look back and see. And how grown some of them thought they were. And you couldn't tell them a damn thing. So when you want to talk about children, depend on the characteristics in the mind, because everybody's mindset is different. These wasn't no goddamn children. Geronda Pace wasn't a goddamn child. Neither was that damn whatever her name is either. Age, like Aaliyah sung in her song, may God bless her soul, ain't nothing but a number. Because even in the word of God, it says, even a child know his or her ways. And I'm going to find that scripture. And one of the guys that was in the video was talking about in the old biblical times, there were men that married young women once he felt she was developed. Okay. When their bodies developed and all that other stuff. Yes, these men married young, and you could go in the book. He went from the book of Deuteronomy, I think chapter 26, 27, whatever. But he was breaking it down. But you know what? But he said rape women. No, they didn't rape. Okay. That was unacceptable. Rape in the Bible in those days, if you took a woman like that, you were put to death. Either you had to come to her father and ask for her in marriage. You could not just take her. You know what I'm saying? So that part, he said, was wrong. Those days, those young girls or those young women were probably like teenage wedded in those days. Even Mary was a teenager when the mother of Jesus. If you go deep in her story, she was a young girl. And they made sure they mention it in the Bible. It's there. She was a young virgin. She knew nothing of a man. She was still in her purity. And she ended up getting pregnant. They say by, you know, the Lord or whatever like that. But I see a different thing. I'm sorry, but I can't really tell y'all that because that could be very, very, controversial. People believe what they believe. So I believe in human nature, put it that way. So anyway, she was a young girl and Joseph was a much older man. And he took her as a bride because he didn't want her to become a public example of a young girl out there without a father, being like she was just out there, doing something that was in those days forbidden to do, having sex without marriage or getting herself in trouble without marriage or whatever like that. So she wouldn't become a public example, meaning that they wouldn't have to stone her and put her to death because she would have been setting a bad example for other young women in the community at that time or whatever. So just saying. Let me read these comments here before I go into this tape. But I had to touch on that because I want people to understand, like some people view my videos and you get these attacks by some females out here who sit up here calling Robert Sylvester Kelly a predator. And then on top of that, they calling me because I support this man and his innocence and his fight for freedom and his fight for justice or whatever. And I'm being called that my name too. Like I'm here and I support anybody that just go and drag a woman and rape her and people like violently, barbarically do some stuff like that, inhumane stuff like that. I don't support that. But in his case, being that he's a wealthy, you know, I would say a man of his status and a man of his reputation in his career of music and everything else like that, we know that, come on, let's all know what's going on. These women were out for money. And these were the con art. They were playing their little con games and they was playing stuff. They looked up to him to be with their superstar as a sugar daddy. They had a rich sugar daddy, a superstar sugar daddy. Come on. We know what these little young street tramps do. They don't got no home structure. They don't got no home life. They home life all messed up and everything. And there's people in the community probably trying to work with them and trying to get them to go to school and try to get a good education and make something better of their life than to be living that fast life that they chose to live. There was probably people trying to give them that guidance or whatever, but they chose the path that they chose to be running behind a superstar. And that little fast game, just like young teenage girls and everything that get caught with the dope dealer, like DJ Tyson talked about in his last live video he did on Facebook one time, and he was talking about Robert Sylvester Kelly about these young girls and everything. It's just like they come for the drug dealers. They want that fast life. They want to be known to be his, main boo or whatever like that. They could get what they want and this, that, and the other. They was enjoying that life until all the money stopped, until somebody got in their head and told them they could sue and say he raped them, he took advantage of them, he was a manipulative, and he had them chained up and, doing stuff like that, making them perform oral sex on him and making them all the graphic shit that they were saying. Okay. But things they were probably already doing before they even got with him. That's all I got to tell you. And they did this and they probably told him they can do these things. Let me show you how it's done, daddy. Them little fast little girls. Listen to Little Kim's song when she says Mr. Biggs, and how old was Little Kim when she made that song with Mr. Biggs and that little rap he did? Probably 18, 19 years old back then. But I'm just saying, when she got with Biggie, how old was she? 15, 16? Them little girls got a fast life. They know that street life, and they schooled by that life. They grew up. They were groomed in that life and everything before they even got to Robert Sylvester Kelly. Come on, breaking curfews and yes, dear, I love you. But anyway, right? But anyway, here we go. About this character. Shout out to Prima Donna again.
But let's just put this out here. It's clearly obvious that
I'm gonna let y'all hear the audio
that were questioned just
because
ever seen certain things. So it's very well possible certain individuals are affiliated with things other people within R. Kelly's real inner circle didn't know anything about. Now, with that being said, let's just give this a little more thought.
Just making sure. They said that you said it was okay to rape 12-year-old girls. I don't know if that's true. Okay, good. That's what I want. That's what I'm saying. I want to know. I didn't put that on you. I didn't put it on you. So you know what we teach now is that when you go into the law in the ancient world, men, if they saw a woman that they like, they can grab the woman up and rape the woman, man. And we're going to read the scriptures. We're going to read the scriptures, all right? Oh, hell no, you didn't have no problem with that. The Lord has a parent. Well, let me say this. Let me say this. The Lord didn't have a problem with men raping a 12-year-old or any woman that they saw on sight. The Lord didn't have a problem with it. But you know what you're thinking? See, you were brought up in this man's fool system, so that's how you think. That's how you think. But back in the ancient world, if you saw, we're talking about, grab a woman, man. And God had no problem with this. Of course not. Let me tell you something, man. I mean, I don't want to speak like this around women, you know.
See, when you don't teach your kids biblical principles,
let me say this, bro. Let me say this.
When you don't teach your kids biblical principles, they get that this is the kind of education they get out on the street. This old man sitting here teaching these young men that in biblical times, a man could just take a 12-year-old, whatever woman, and just grab her and rape her, and he won't even have to go to jail for it because, hey, that's how it was back in those days. That's ignorance. But then again, it may not be ignorance because we all saw The Color Purple, right? We saw how old Celie was and Mr. And she was sold off to Mr. Remember, after the stepfather, you know, the mother knew what was going on. If you read the book, you'll get more details than what you get from the movie. Because I read the book, The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I read the book, okay? I read the book. Not only once, but I think more than once. A couple of times. I read that book. Because some things I might have missed and I had to go back and read it again. But I'm just saying, but she was very young. She was about 12 years old. In those times. She was about 12. And we going back in 1900 and something. Maybe 1902, maybe 1903, 4, something like that. But being that this man already had property, he had land, they were sharecroppers or whatever, they inherit some land or whatever, this, that, the other, and her father, who her stepfather was because her mother and everything, that wasn't her real father. That wasn't either her or her sister's real father. So we don't know what really happened to Celie's real father. I think he left them or something like that. And the mother had he had died or something. And this man took over her mother. And her mother was a young woman too when she got with Celie's stepfather. And the stepfather was raping her daughter. It was nothing. It was out of her hands to do anything about it. That this man was having sex with her daughter. And then after he finished ruining her, he sells her off to get married. He ain't get the opportunity to touch the other daughter, but he sells her off to Mr. And Mr. wife was young and then went and married another young girl. The girl couldn't have been no more than Celie age, about 13, 14 years old in those days. Now that behavior, I don't condone it. I don't support it because that's how it was in those days. You know, that's how barbaric and uneducated and ignorant people were. But now that we come to knowing and we getting older and everything, you know, woman could be more than just a mother and a wife. I mean, a wife and a mother and, you know, that kind of way. There's a whole lot of other great things in a woman that she can do. And it should be her choice if she wants to marry and have a family. And even if she want to start out as a young woman to do that. In some cultures, they allow it to happen. They marry their daughters off really young. And they do it. You know, as long as the man is wealthy enough to take care of them and make sure that she's in good care and everything else like that, they are allowed to do it. And I know what he's trying to say, but then again, don't say that rape shit. Rape to me is when you taking it against someone's will. But if they're willing to do it, it's not rape. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on because I don't know. I just wanted to just make something there clear. But you got to educate your children. You know, sometimes you can't even stop them from doing things they want to do when they get a certain age because that's already in them to do it. That's in their spirit to do it. And it's their life and it's their choice. You can talk to them, but still in all, they can choose their own path. But those women out there that's making this stuff, they being ignorant. They just as bad as some of the men out there raping the women.
When we used to do our thing, she used to say, well, go in the room, put clothes on, put a mask on, and bust in the door and rape my ass. Okay? And you know, when you do that with a woman, most of the women...
There's some women that do enjoy that kind of role play.
But you're saying that you don't do that. But the scripture say against the Lord. But you know what the scripture don't allow us to do as the Lord would have permitted. Well, it's true. Yes, that's true. And it's now I'm talking in terms of raping a woman on sight if I wanted to. First of all, go to the scripture. Go to the scripture. The scripture answer it better. Deuteronomy 22 and 25.
Deuteronomy 22 and 25, y'all. That's what he said, Deuteronomy. But this same guy, but I'm going to fast forward because if y'all want to see the rest of this video, you could go and you can watch it on Prima Donna or you can go to Tasha K because that's where she's probably got this video from or whatever, her information. But, you know, she just wanted to show some show you some highlights and point out some things about there are men that think barbarically like that, but that's why I say you have to educate your young daughters at home and you've got to teach them from their home from the beginning of their life. Now these people getting in things they shouldn't have no business getting involved with. It ain't your fucking daughter. That ain't the way you raise your goddamn kids. So why should it fucking bother you if R. Kelly allegedly got with these young minors? Obviously, to your motherfucking ass, what you need to be doing is telling parents how to teach their daughters to make better choices in life for themselves and not use what's between their legs to get what they want and to be manipulative, but to learn how to be ladies and also think about being, using their brains. That's what they need to do. And I don't think he should be going to no motherfucking jail. Yeah, he could be held accountable in some sense of some shit. Okay, but not for that kind of shit. To get the help he need, maybe to bring his mind to think more on a higher level of making better choices when it comes to making choices for women than thinking of these kind of street, trashy, trampy, uneducated misfits. Okay? He could make better choices on that level of his life. And that's the only thing I can speak on as far as holding him accountable for. Because there are some, like I said, fast-ass young women out there, teenagers out there, because they're not children. Those are not children. Children can't decide to make decisions for themselves because they don't know any better. They haven't even been out there yet. They don't know anything. They innocent and pure. But these are teenagers. They hormones and they pass puberty. Pubescent. I can't even pronounce that word. I need help. Puberty. Okay? They already got their breasts, their titties, their damn menstrual cycle is coming and all that other stuff. And they raving. And to believe it or not, I think sometimes we enjoy sex even more than males do at some point. And we are more sexual than they are. Men just like to go they like to chase more than to catch. Men like sex. But like this man explained in this video, his woman used to tell him to dress up with whatever, put a mask on, come in there and rape her. Okay? And you'd be surprised, and even Robert said himself, you'd be surprised what some of these women wanted him to do with them. There's some dominatrix out there. There's some women that like that dominant stuff done to them. Not me. But there's, there are people out there that are like that. I saw that on Life, one of them ID shows. This lady, she was living her little secret life where she had the whatever that stuff they dress up in and everything, and she liked to get tied and whipped and beat and all that other stuff. She liked that kinky stuff, and she ended up being murdered and killed or whatever because one of her male clients that she had on the internet, she was doing this stuff. I don't know. It was one of those stories, and you'd be surprised that there are some females out there that's into that domination shit. That S&M, you could call sadomasochism. They like to be dominated like that. They like to be whipped, beaten, and then they want you to make love to them afterwards. There's some men into some kinky shit. They like to be beat, spanked, all that good, that stuff. I wouldn't say good stuff because I don't want it being done to me, but moving on. But this man, if you want to see the rest, because I can't really hold it, I just wanted to just point out something to you all. But the same guy that's talking, named Polite, whoever he is, that was having this conversation with the men, I wanted to get to that point where now he's facing some charges. Let me get there. So I don't want to get into all of that. It's on Tasha K.
Just like the white man taught you to thought. That's what you did. You didn't even consider, could this be true? When have I ever spoken about Brother Petty Light right here? And the reason I'm calling him Petty Light because he's a pedophile. When have I ever presented him on my channel? Why? When? How? Anybody? Tell me?
That's right, we named nothing new under the sun.
Ain't no we got to talk about because I knew what was going to hit the fan. I already know. I took one look at it. And I listened for 2 minutes and I knew it was going to be some shit. It was just a matter of time.
He asking her, them when did they first meet. Now watch how old she said she was when they first met. Watch this.
Natural, because when I started coming, I was really young, so I actually went. I was like 17. I was 16, 17.
She was 16? Her said she was 16, 17? So
you see the lies and the manipulation that these young women out here be doing? You see the lies. She was 16, 17. But still in all, you knew you was getting yourself involved with a man that was older than you and you went along with it anyway, right? So why should this man be in jail? They know what the fuck they doing. This is what I'm trying to say. And these lawyers and these people trying to use R. Kelly to fit their political agenda or their laws that they trying to make to raise the statute of limitation on rape victims and stuff like that, people that have really actually been raped. These women were not raped. Change the narrative. These were volunteers. These were women that was out for fame or out for a life with a superstar. Who cares if they fucking got herpes? I don't give a shit. You only get something out there if you screwing and you having sex with multiple people. You have to get something. It ain't nobody told you to have sex with multiple people because you didn't have to stay there if you wasn't about that life. Don't talk those circles around my head and got me trying to persuade me into that shit. Like this man Polite. Now, I don't know if he was somebody that was for R. Kelly or against R. Kelly, but I'm just saying that what he's dealing with right now, because now he's up against some thing with a minor that he's supposed to have took to a hotel and raped her. And I don't even know the whole story behind all of that. But Tasha K is out there already putting him on blast and calling him a pedophile. So he pissed Tasha K off. And you know how she go. You know how she rolls. She will run that thing all the way to I don't know what. And I'm just saying out here, they got some fast-ass young girls out there. Teenagers or whatever you want to call them. They're not children. So stop calling them children. They're not children. You could say minor, or something that was not legal at the age that they were when they was having sex with Mr. Kelly, or things like that. But stop calling them children. They not children. Oh, they was even trying to even say they were 12. Ain't no goddamn. And Leah is dead, y'all. She's gone. She died in an airplane crash back 20 years ago now, or around this time of the year. I think the anniversary of Aaliyah's death was actually the day his trial started, when Aaliyah died in that plane crash. Let me Google. Actually, sometime this month. And actually, I'm supposed to be getting ready to go to New York tomorrow. I got to go get my hair washed and set tomorrow. And then me and my husband, we driving out to New York, because I told him this weekend I was supposed to be going to put, my anniversary is the 25th, and I can't do it next on my anniversary, because my anniversary falls on the middle of the weekday, and I have to be to work. So I couldn't be there, and I wanted to be. I'm gonna make it to one. His trial gonna be 4 to 6 weeks, so I may be having a chance to go out there, before it ends. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're gonna find out when Aaliyah actually passed away, like they did with the docuseries when they dropped it on the 25th anniversary of his TP2 of his 12 play. Platinum album. So they're going to send him to court on August the 18th. They're going to open up his staff on the day of Aaliyah's death. Let's see. Let's look at the history of things that they do. Let's look at this. You could tell when it's a setup, because we know it was an August something, but I don't exactly know the day it happened. But I know it was in August that Aaliyah died in that plane crash. Aaliyah. What?
According to Wikipedia, Aaliyah Dana Houghton, known anonymously as Aaliyah, was an American singer, actress, dancer, and model.
Oh, she died. She died on the day of my anniversary, August 25th. Okay. August 25th is when she passed away. She was born January 16, 1979 in Brooklyn, New York. Like I was born January 5th in 1967 in Brooklyn, New York. And she died on August 25th. Why do they keep putting her and Robert name there? If her family is going to court, hopefully they're going on Robert's defense. I really hope if they are going, they're going in defense of Robert. And let's hope and pray that's what it is, because I think they need to take that off of his record. I think they need to take that out of Wikipedia, because it has that marriage was a rumor and it was never spoken about. And if it was a no, that never happened. So why are they putting that shit on her file and on his file? That shit is kind of like, to me, somebody's behind that bullshit. They ain't got nothing to do with Aaliyah. Okay, somebody that's really sitting up there in that music industry, that's really trying to fuck over their music and trying to get their royalties and their money. That's what I'm looking at. Hey, Raquel, how you doing? I didn't see you before, but if I didn't, and Jason, how you doing? Yes, free R. Kelly, free R. Kelly, free R. Kelly. Because I'm sick and tired of the propaganda. I'm sick and tired of the lies. And I'm just sick and tired of what they all trying to do to put this man behind bars. Because I just broke something down about some young adults out there. Young adults. That's what they are. Hi, Alexander. Oh, you a new subscriber? Well, thank you. Welcome to my live. Welcome to my channel. I hope you be able to be happy here, because I could get real, I could get real crazy sometimes. Because sometimes some things just get inside of me from some people. Yeah, just like Dr. Cosby. But, this is a little different, Alexander, because they trying to say that he's messing with minors. See, the thing with Dr. Cosby was, oh, hey, Truth, you just mentioned me. Well, hey, I wonder what that was all about. Her name was Sheila Dulo, something like that. Okay. Yep. But I don't think, to me, Alexander, like Dr. Cosby, like I was saying, they came at Dr. Cosby on, um, you know, grown ass women, but they trying to say that Robert Sylvester Kelly was messing with minors out there soliciting or whatever, preying on minors and everything, when they were really actually preying on him. You know what I'm saying? People made up stories because the government went around in the neighborhood and scouted out some people, paid them some money, and say yeah, and made it look like it was Robert Sylvester Kelly in the community, and paid some real ignorant, thirsty ass black folks out there in that community to say it was him hanging out at the McDonald's and schools and all this other stuff. So I don't put nothing past them people. Them people are real dirty. Them feds are dirty. Because even when I look at the photos of Geronda Pace, why was someone taking photos, specifically taking photos of her in the crowd, walking behind Robert Sylvester Kelly, and another photo of her standing there, and he's looking like, who the hell is this? Like, exactly. She knew what the hell she was doing, and at least she goddamn admitted it in her own way that she knew what the fuck she was doing. But he spit on me and he choked me, and he's like, well, where's the pictures of all these abuse if he was punching and slapping your ass up? Where are your photos? Where are the reports that you took to the police department and made them complain about this? Where is your attorneys that you went to say this superstar you was with? I just don't get it. Give a fuck if he was a superstar or not. He's slapping and spitting on my ass. I'm going to be like, I'll be right back. And I'll be somewhere ready to take his ass to court. And at least if you did it before, you took him to court and maybe they paid off your attorneys or whatever, they wouldn't get no lawsuit against him or whatever, at least have that on file so they could bring that shit up, right? But it wasn't. So you a lying little hussy. You knew what you was doing. Just admit and said, I knew what I was doing. Just say I knew what I was doing. It was a choice I made. Just say I'm here for Robert. I made those choices in my youth. I did that. I made mistakes, and I'm trying to make up for it. And I'm ready now to live right, because now I'm a mother of going on. You got a new baby. You got a baby in your belly and everything else like that. You had a couple of other kids before that one, and here you are. This you just need to just come out and just tell the truth. Just say you'll take fault for some of the shit you did. Come on. It's the lie, the truth will set you free. Oh, she wants to check. Well, you know what? The government been paying her all this time. I don't know why they should stop. She wants to check. She could get her welfare. Don't she got a husband now? Maybe her husband can work and get a check. Or maybe they was both living off of the money the government was already giving them, the lie on Robert. As if she had any relationship with him. From what I understand, it was supposed to be Booba. Isn't that man named Booba or something like that? Booba or something, or Bubba? Oh, Bubba. Yeah, some Bubba dude. That's who I heard that was the man that she was kicking it with, him and some women and whatever. She was on the stand. Oh, she was. I don't even know. They ain't even show us nothing. All they doing is reporting it in the news and doing these little cartoon, little drawings and stuff, making everybody look all damn crazy and goofy. I can't even go by them damn cartoons. And she was on the stand crying. The thing is that they must have a monitor, a television monitor or something where everybody is sitting at listening to the testimonies. If you are able to get inside of the building. And they said people were out there early in the morning. And from what I understand, oh yeah, I saw the posting on Die Hard fans page that Dabowski Gunn put out there. And he said that they gave the shirt that she brought in, was supposed to have Robert DNA on it, was a fake shirt. It didn't even have no DNA, and it was thrown out. They said it was the shirt didn't even have his DNA on it. They said it was a fake shirt. They held the shirt up in her face. And that's when she started like crying or whatever like that, because that was supposed to, who the hell? Hey, I ride solo. Yeah, I heard the shirt she was wearing that's supposed to a blue shirt or some shit like that she had that Robert was supposed to have spit on. It was either her or it was the other girl, the one that's supposed to have been holding on to something. Just like they did Clinton. When they said that Clinton had sex with the lady. Hold on 1 second, please. It's my husband. Hey y'all, that's my husband. Just called me. He got some stuff in the car and he need me to help him get some stuff out the car. So anyway, y'all, I'll be back with you all soon. Thank you all for joining me in this live. I really, really enjoyed this conversation. And I'm hopefully that the defense team will pick up this video for Robert Sylvester Kelly for me, and they will do some research and they will go along with some of it. I'm gonna try to bring as much as I can out there, so his legal team is out there working, because you know they got their little laptops there, so maybe they might come across my little video in the courtroom, and then hey, woo, okay, y'all. So you all have a blessed and wonderful evening. If God's willing, I'll be back with y'all. I don't know tomorrow because, like I said, I got to get my hair done. I have things to do, so it'll probably be difficult for me to make any videos. So you all have a blessed and wonderful weekend, and God's willing, I'll be back with you next week. Love you and peace out.